So I'm a technology guy, and so I like S-curves. S-curves are actually a really great way to show what's been happening and what is likely to happen. It's a good way to show maturity as well. So we use this S-curve on a lot of our very large and very complex enterprise mobility projects. So I wanted to just quickly show you the 4 stages here, and of course, the farther along you get, the better your customer experience, the revenues, and so on and so forth from any mobility system, and in this case, point of sale. So I mentioned my corner store that I used to go to and my children still go to. This is what I think of when I think of point of sale. I put this down at the very bottom of the maturity curve because you may have a point of sale terminal in a store that could have ancillary pieces that are running around the store, right? I kind of call that the veneer of mobility, right? You think you have a mobile solution, but really what you're doing is you're still driving traffic to that same counter. On the second level, we have, and this is a client example from Canada, actually. There's a retail client who realized that they have a fantastic loyalty program. This is a program that was winning awards and doing great things for their bottom line. The problem was the type of retail store it is, it normally catered to women, and they had an issue with whenever the husband would come in to the store, they would not have the loyalty card on them. So what this retailer said, well, wouldn't it be great to, one, give them more points, not having to have them open multiple accounts to get the same number of points, and really reduce customer frustration. They've heard a lot of feedback from their clients through social media and other ways that this is something that needed to be fixed. They built a very simple app. All this app does is once you get a loyalty card, this app will allow you to load the image of that loyalty card and the barcode on the back of it on any number of devices that you want. You want to load it on 100 devices, you're welcome to it. The net result is whoever from your family shops at this store now has the ability to scan that loyalty card, get instant discounts at the counter, and collect points going forward. Now, you're getting into the latter stages of the maturity curve at this point, and this is where you're talking about significant system integration on the back-end side. And it sounds big, and it can be, but it doesn't always have to be. And in fact, when it comes to point of sale, there's actually some very simple solutions out there to do this and to get to this level of maturity. So this is another client that we did a significant amount of work for where they had a very specific problem with a very small group of their customers. So it was a warehouse-type store. They had a lot of loss of sales from their top 1% of clients because they were extremely price sensitive. If they could get something 5 cents off across town for a large order of bulk items, they would happily make the trip. Because they were buying a lot of products, this 1% represented about $200 million of revenue for the client. So they wanted to figure out, so how do we lock these guys in? So we helped them build a special loyalty program that included location-based technologies, coupons being sent out when they were within the vicinity of a store. But the real change was on the store side. These folks would walk into a store, they would have an associate with them immediately because they'd be identified by the device that they were carrying. They would walk in the aisles, do mobile scanning on the actual items that they wanted. These were bulk items, so you couldn't pick them up and carry them out. They would scan all of the items that they wanted. They'd get special coupons and sort of special treatment throughout the store. They would sign a receipt in the aisle and walk out and have the goods delivered to them that afternoon. They went from these really huge clients being treated like Joe Schmo to an experience where this person felt like a rock star whenever they walked into that store. It was a really cool project, and it locked down an absolutely massive revenue variation for this client in an incredibly short amount of time. It was a Canadian program, and in fact, it was so successful, this is a US-based company, that they actually imported it down to the US. And then if you extend that, you're thinking about a store like Apple. In my previous example, the retailer was really only targeting a very small percentage of their clients. Apple is doing the same kind of thing for all of their clients. So you have, as Brent mentioned, your receipts arriving to you by email. You're able to do checkout wherever you are within the store. We certainly think that this is a path that a lot of retailers can go down on. This creates a significant amount of, as I mentioned at the very beginning, personalization on the actual checkout. You're creating a different kind of customer experience. You're creating a lot of intimacy with the client and immediacy as well on the transaction speed. And so for us, I think it's a real bellwether of what the future of retail may look like for a lot of different types of stores out there. But you know, when you look at this, you're still thinking about, holy cow, I still have to buy a tablet for every single employee, as is the case at Best Buy, I believe. That's a lot of money. What's the next wave? What's level 5 on this maturity curve? Well, we think level 5 can be essentially the offloading of the point of sale functionality to the client themselves. We talked about how many smartphones there are, tablets, and so forth. We are starting a project later this summer for a very large governmental client, but the implications to retail are huge. This client operates in a warehouse environment where every item needs to be checked out, essentially just like as if you purchased an item. We're building them a solution that will have RFID gates at the front. A person will walk into these warehouses. They will be identified as to who they are, multiple sets of authentication, so you're not just relying on someone's stolen cell phone to get things out of the warehouse, where they would pick up items that are all RFID tagged, and when they walk out without touching anything or talking to anyone, the transactions get recorded, inventory gets updated, orders are made, and things just happen like magic. This is what the client said. So we think that tying the point of sale to the mobile device will eventually come. Are we there yet? I don't think so, but in certain cases it does make sense. I think where a lot of people are going to is level 4 here. And the issue with technology in quite a few cases is that you cannot ever use technology as a permanent competitive advantage. It just doesn't exist. If you do it, the next guy can do it just as well, maybe even better, because they've seen what you've done. So instead of a normal maturity curve where everyone has to take this journey from the bottom to the very top, what we find is a lot of folks are basically going from the very bottom to the very top in one step instead of 2 or 3 steps.